I don't drink coffee because I'm not 40 with children. I don't think teenagers should drink coffee. It's not for us. We're just encroaching on the target demographic of people who actually benefit from it. Nobody as young as us should need caffeine. If you're getting saddled with supplement-dependent functionality already, you're not exactly on the road to self-sufficiency. An addiction to any substance is unhealthy. It doesn't matter how harmless the product is on its own, it's how it asserts control over your wants and needs and pulls strings behind the scenes of your behavior that determines how dangerous it is to you and how annoying it is to people around you. I'm addicted to Reese's peanut butter cups. I can't stop eating them as long as I have a supply of them, and I figured that out when I bought 3 8-packs one day and devoured all of them in 10 minutes. It's a problem, and it forces me to check my behavior and adjust the consumption rate of my habit. My problem is moderation, solved by buying less at one time so I don't have the option to overindulge. Other people's problem is consistency. If you need to have that coffee in the morning, especially as a youthful 20-something who never ever should be dependent on any outside influence to get along with existing, you should take steps to wean yourself off it. As soon as you start outsourcing the job of survival, you're inside fucked. Doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy yourself when you want, just don't be dependent on it. I mean, holy shit, Reese's are damn good to eat, but I don't require them. Plus, a teenager who drinks coffee every day is like a happy person taking antidepressants. It's pointless, and certain people should be mad at you. Fuck open letters. There's always at least a couple of them that start trending whenever a famous person does something people don't like. Some pretentious idiot sees an opportunity to bandwagon the hate train and write a post that says everything like-minded people have already said. The title of every open letter should just be, "I want to go viral, please share this dumb shit." And the latest one just goes above and beyond. It's called, "Why I Won't Accept Donald Trump's Apology." Like you're breaking fucking ground with that basic-ass garbage. Nobody who was initially appalled by that recording of him is gonna accept his apology. It isn't sincere because of course it isn't. I'm sorry you put a microphone where you weren't supposed to and heard the type of embellished jokery that many people, both male and female, say to their friends when they don't think they're being recorded. The main line people struggle with is that Donald Trump said he likes to grab women's pussies just out of nowhere on the street. What's funny is that people now think he actually does that. Until I read an autobiographical vignette blog post from some nameless victim called "Trump grabbed my pussy," I'm going to choose to believe it was the kind of thing a guy just says he does to get a laugh, which he did get, by the way, so I'd call it a conversational success. I've said so much worse than that on my channel, on purpose. You can imagine what comes out of my mouth when I'm just playing PS4 with friends. But it's different because he's running for president. He wasn't in 2005 when that recording took place, where it sat unnoticed by anyone for 11 years until it released very conveniently a day before the second debate. I want to run for president when I'm 35 just to watch people present every video I've ever done on this channel as evidence for why I should never be in charge of anything. Here's something people need to understand. If it wasn't done while you're running for president, it's irrelevant. I loved when that story came out of how Obama smoked weed in college and people were seriously trying to use that to make people not want to vote for him. 30 years ago, Obama shoved his face in a bong and people tried to spin it like the White House was going to become the world's largest hotbox. If I quit YouTube tomorrow and dedicated the next 13 years of my life to politics in preparation for running the country, none of the shit I've ever said up to this point today matters. You can't knock people for their past opinions, only their present ones, because in the interim between those two things, some self-made changes took place. If any argument you make against a person's character or qualifications involves the words "used to" or "previously," you're wrong and you lose. Most people don't land directly on the correct way of thinking every time, assuming incorrectly that there even is one. Personal growth erases the past to draw the future. I think Hurricane Matthew is just God's way of saying we need to be done with Florida. Now that's a bandwagon joke right there. If you're unfamiliar, I'll illuminate the concept for you. There are some topics that people make jokes about without having any knowledgeable basis as to why they're doing it. They've heard other people make fun of it, so they make fun of it too. It's basically peer pressure comedy. You'll see it with jokes people make about things like Nickelback or Dane Cook. They've become the embodiment of worst possible thing in their respective fields, and nobody really knows the source of those associations. Now, I've been to Florida, and I can tell you that it sucks, but probably not any more than many other states. I mean, sure, there's enough humidity to drown you on the sidewalk, and the extra piercingly powerful rays of the sun makes me wonder why there's 10 times as many black people there when their skin absorbs more heat. And I know this sounds cliche, but it's literally hot enough to fry in afterbirth on the sidewalk. Weird shit goes down in Florida. But its climate is shared by at least 4 other states around it, and not quite home births happen all around the country. But you don't hear any Louisiana jokes on late night TV, do you? I feel like there's a secret society of comedians that get together at the beginning of each year and decide on a single, otherwise meaningless topic that they get every comedian they know to start making fun of for no reason. This may be too specifically obscure for anyone else to pick up on, but I remember in 2011, I watched at least 8 different comedians tell jokes about chain wallets. Nobody was talking about chain wallets before that, and nobody has talked about them since. Chain wallets have been around since the 70s, but all of a sudden they blasted back into the limelight, then disappeared just as quickly. I sense other forces at play here. In case any of you are thinking about getting into stand-up comedy, there are some qualifications you have to adhere to or it'll never work out. The first is you have to not be in shape, but kind of want to get in shape. Just don't ever actually get in shape or you're not allowed to tell jokes anymore. You have to have at least 10 minutes of observations about the positive changes smoking weed has made to your life. People love that because they think weed is still counterculture when you actually could not be doing a more socially dogpiling thing. And finally, you may only tell jokes about struggling and failing in your life. Never outright success or triumph, because that makes people jealous, and when people are jealous, they don't laugh. The exception to this rule is when the triumph occurs by winning an argument with an imaginary person you made up for the purpose of that bit. Audiences react way too positively whenever a comedian talks about ending up victorious in a verbal dispute that probably wasn't so meticulously scripted when it was happening in real life. But that's also a very major thing you should know, even if you just watch stand-up. We're fucking lying. We're almost exclusively either embellishing or flat out lying because life ain't funny by itself. It needs our help. I'm looking back through the script of this video right now, and I've told 3 lies in the last 4 minutes. I haven't been to Florida. Make that 4 lies, because I really have, but now you don't know what's real anymore, do you? If there's any comedian you like specifically because you think he's honest and real, you've been fooled. Honest and real people aren't comedians. Honest and real people are nowhere near a stage or TV screen. And you shouldn't decry comedians' embellishments anyway. If we have to sell to you the idea of us, you better believe we'll be taking some liberties to artificially jack up the price. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.